I shouldn't be writing this. That's what I told myself the moment I opened the diary again tonight. But the truth is, the pages call me. They always do. The cover is stained now, a dark crimson smudge that spreads like dried wine or blood left too long in the air. I can't remember spilling anything on it, yet every time I touch the leather, my fingertips come away tinted red. I write because my thoughts are unbearable when they're left to wander. I write because the silence around me is too thick. And yet, when I press the pen down, when the ink bleeds, something else begins to bleed with it. The first drops fell tonight, tiny beads on the corner of the page. Not ink, not sweat, something warmer, something alive. I tried to wipe it away, but the paper drank it greedily. And I think the diary liked it. The house is too quiet when the lights go out. It creaks like a throat trying to swallow a scream. I hear whispers through the vents, faint at first, like wind whistling through old pipes. But when I pause, holding my breath, the voices grow clearer. They say my name, over and over. Not a warning, not a prayer, a chant. I've started locking the doors, even when I'm alone. The locks don't matter. The voices always find their way in. Tonight, I saw something in the hallway mirror. Not me. At least, not entirely me. My reflection smiled when I didn't. Its teeth glistened, and for the first time, I noticed the faint smear of red on its lips. When I turned away, the taste of iron coated my tongue. I woke up to find the diary open on the nightstand. I don't remember leaving it there. Its pages fluttered, though the window was shut tight. I swear I heard it sigh, like lungs filling with breath for the first time. When I touched the paper, it was warm, beating, like skin. My pen moved on its own this morning. The words weren't mine, not exactly, but they poured out as though something inside me had been waiting. It wrote about bones beneath the floorboards, about hair tangled in the pipes, about a woman screaming in a room without doors. I don't know who she is, but her screams echo inside my chest. The crimson won't wash off anymore. I scrubbed until my skin burned, but it lingers beneath my nails, in the grooves of my fingerprints. People at work ask if I've been painting. They laugh, but I see the way they stare too long. Yesterday, my coworker brushed my hand accidentally. Her face drained of color, and she pulled away as though I'd cut her. Later that night, I dreamt of her body, pale and stiff, with scarlet streaks blooming across her arms. When I woke, I found the same streaks in my diary, perfect replicas of her veins, drawn in a shade too real to be ink. I think I'm starting to hurt people without touching them. It happened again. Tonight, as I wrote, the diary whispered back. Not in words, not exactly, but in sounds, wet and heavy, like something chewing from the inside. The more I listened, the louder it grew, until I realized it wasn't inside the diary at all. It was inside me. I pressed my hand against my ribs, and I could feel it. Something shifting, something pushing against bone, desperate to crawl out. I wanted to scream, but the only thing that left my lips was a laugh, a sharp, broken laugh I didn't recognize. The diary pulsed on the desk, waiting. And I knew, the more I write, the more it takes. And the more it takes, the less of me remains. I thought if I stopped writing, the whispers would fade. For 2 days, I hid the diary under my bed, wrapped in a towel, shut inside a shoebox. But the silence it left behind was worse. The air grew heavy, pressing against my chest. Every sound grated. Footsteps in the hallway, the hum of the refrigerator, even my own breathing. By the second night, I couldn't take it anymore. When I pulled the diary out, the box was soaked through. Dark stains had seeped into the wood of the floorboards. My towel was shredded, threads stiff with something that wasn't water. The moment my fingers brushed the cover, the hunger inside me quieted. For the first time in days, I could breathe. But I knew then, this wasn't just my diary anymore. It was feeding, and I was feeding it. The bathroom mirror is no longer safe. I see too much now. Not my face, at least not the face others see. My eyes are ringed in red, veins spiderwebbing across the whites like cracks in glass. My lips swollen, dark. This morning, I leaned close enough to see the pores in my skin. That's when it happened. Tiny droplets welled from them, like beads of sweat, but thicker, richer. Blood seeped from my cheeks, as though my reflection itself was wounded. I screamed, stumbling back. Yet when I touched my face, there was nothing. Smooth, clean. The mirror lied. Or maybe I'm the one who lies. I smashed the glass, but even in the shards scattered across the floor, my reflection smiled back. Each fragment mouthed the same word: right. I can't tell if I'm awake anymore. Last night, I dreamt of a room drenched in crimson light. The walls pulsed like flesh. The ceiling dripping slow, sticky tears that pooled around my ankles. And there she was, the woman from my earlier visions. Her hair matted, her eyes wide and unblinking. She wore no mouth, only a jagged tear across her face, stitched crudely with something black. When she reached for me, the stitches broke. The scream that followed was not human. It was every sound of pain I had ever swallowed, every insult, every hand that had ever pressed me down, every voice that had told me to stay small. I woke shaking, my sheets soaked. But it wasn't sweat this time. The stains were deep, metallic, impossible to wash away. And beneath my pillow, the diary waited, open to a fresh page. In my handwriting, one line repeated again and again: "You are not hers. You are ours." The bleeding won't stop. Not from wounds, but from within. My palms ache as though nails have been driven through them. Though the skin is unbroken, yet every time I open my hands, the diary records something new. Streaks of red, smudges that form shapes I can't control. Yesterday, it drew a symbol. Circles within circles, sharp lines like broken ribs. When I traced it with my finger, I felt heat surge through me, a violent pulse that made me tremble. I heard laughter in my skull. Not mine, not hers. My reflection is changing faster now. My skin carries faint patterns, lines across my arms, branching like rivers. They glow when the diary is near. Sometimes in the quiet, I hear bones cracking, though I'm not moving. The sound comes from inside me. My ribs ache as though they're bending outward, making room for something else. The hunger grows, not just in the pages, but in me. I crave iron, salt. I chew my lip until it tears. I lick the blood without thinking, and for a moment, the world sharpens, the colors brighter, the shadows deeper. It's not pain anymore, it's power. The diary lies open on my desk, waiting. The words ripple across its pages like a heartbeat. I no longer write in it, I write with it. And somewhere deep down, I know the truth. This isn't a diary, it's a contract. The voices won't leave me now. They don't just whisper, they scream. They rise from the vents, from the pipes, from the cracks in the walls. They chant my name in rhythms that sync with my heartbeat. At work, I hear them through my coworkers' mouths. Their lips move in small talk, but the sound I hear is the diary's language. Wet, throaty syllables that coil like smoke. When I blink, I see their eyes dripping, their faces smearing into shapes the diary has already drawn. I tried to ignore it, but the voices followed me home, louder than ever. They want something. They want me. The diary waits open, its pages trembling as though anticipating my surrender. Last night, the hunger peaked. My neighbor knocked on my door, concerned about the sounds. He said he heard crying, a woman begging, but I hadn't been crying. When I opened the door, his concern melted into something sharper. His eyes flicked to my body, to the hollow of my throat, to the trembling of my hands. I knew that look. I had seen it too many times, and something inside me snapped. I don't remember the details, only the aftermath. The silence after his voice was gone, the heavy taste of iron in the air, the way the diary glowed faintly, like an ember feeding on ash. When I woke this morning, there was no body, no blood on the floor, only the diary, open to a new page. My handwriting filled it, though I never picked up a pen. It read, "We accept him." The world outside feels different now. Trees bend when I walk past, their bark splitting slightly, dripping dark resin like wounds. Birds fall silent when I step beneath them. Even the air hums low, as though vibrating with my pulse. On my way home, I noticed the sidewalk spotted with stains, rust-colored patches leading all the way to my front door. No one else seemed to see them. People walked over them casually, chatting, scrolling through their phones. But to me, they glistened. Inside my apartment, I found the same stains blossoming on the walls, curling into patterns. A garden of crimson vines spreading from the diary outward. And when I pressed my hand against the wallpaper, it was warm, alive. The changes are no longer subtle. My skin bruises without touch, blooming in deep reds and purples. At night, I hear my joints crack as though something larger is unfolding beneath. In the mirror, my collarbones are sharper, stretching, almost wing-like. My teeth ache constantly, pressing against gums as if eager to tear free. But it isn't horror I feel, it's release. For the first time in my life, I don't feel small. I don't feel weak. I feel vast, limitless. The diary tells me what's happening. She is arriving. Not a creature outside of me, but something inside, waiting for years, buried under obedience, silence, and fear. I am not breaking. I am blooming. Tonight, the diary gave me instructions. The words appeared in thick strokes across the page, dripping as though written in something fresh. It spoke of a night when the moon would rise red, of a ritual that required no altar, no priest, no sacred place, only me, only the body that had been caged too long. I don't remember falling asleep, but when I woke, the world outside my window was bathed in scarlet. The moon hung low, swollen and veined, as if it too were alive. The diary throbbed on the desk, its pages fluttering. My skin burned, symbols rising across it like scars reopening. And then I heard her voice, not through walls, not through dreams, but inside my own throat. She whispered, "Tonight, you become me." The night feels endless. The crimson moon hangs above like a watchful eye, dripping its color across the world. My apartment groans, its walls stretching, the ceiling pulsing like a womb. The diary lies open on the floor, glowing faintly. Its pages curl upward, trembling with each breath I take. I kneel before it, my hands shaking, but not from fear, from anticipation. The words appear slowly, one after another, as though carved into my skin first, then transferred onto the paper. Write the final page. Give her breath. It begins with my chest. The bones crack, not in pain but in release, spreading apart like a door unhinged. I gasp, but no air enters. Instead, light, crimson and searing, erupts from the fissures, pouring into the room. I watch my reflection in the window. My mouth opens, but the sound is not mine. A scream of 1,000 voices bursts forth, shaking the glass, rattling the walls. My skin peels in strips, curling like paper set aflame. Yet beneath it is not rawness, it is beauty. Lines of glowing red lace my body, a living tapestry of fury and freedom. I am not dying, I am becoming. The neighbors gather outside. I see them through the window, their faces pale in the moonlight. Some clutch their children, others cross themselves, but none dare to enter. They know something holy or unholy is happening here. Their whispers rise, carried by the wind. At first, I think they fear me, but then I realize they are chanting too. Their mouths form the same syllables as the diary's pages. The world beyond my walls is already bound to me. One by one, their eyes bleed red. Some drop to their knees. Some press their hands against their chests, as though their hearts ache to match mine. The ritual is no longer mine alone. She steps out of me, or perhaps I step out of her. It is hard to tell where I end and she begins. She is tall, veiled in threads of blood that drip endlessly, her limbs sharp as broken glass, her face half mine and half something ancient. Her eyes glow with rage that feels righteous, infinite, untouchable. She does not speak with words. She does not need to. Her presence fills the room, fills me, fills every hollow I had carried since childhood. Every silence, every humiliation, every bruise that never healed. And she whispers only one command: rise. The diary closes on its own. The cover pulses once, then stills. I pick it up, and it is no longer heavy. It no longer bleeds. It feels like skin, my skin, a second heart beating in my hand. When I look into the mirror, I see her standing behind me, her hand resting on my shoulder. We share the same smile, the same teeth, the same hunger. But when I blink, she is gone. Only me remains. Still, the reflection lingers too long. It watches me even after I turn away. And when I reach for the light switch, the glass whispers softly, "Write again." The diary waits, and the story is far from over.